There's a guy on YouTube. His name is Caleb Hamer. He runs this show called Financial Audit. And he propositioned Frogan to go on his show and he would review her finances. And if she did that, he would donate, I think it was like 20K to charity, or he would give her 5 grand. And she responded and she said, like, you know, basically, F you. I'm not going to get on there and just for your personal, like, satisfaction and to get humiliated so you can expose me. I'm not going to do that. And I went in on him and I called him a business bro and I said a lot of things. And so, since then, he's responded. And since then, we currently have a debate conversation planned for sometime in the future. Details are still being ironed out. But I will do my absolute best to make sure this happens. Because I think it'll be very entertaining. And it's been a long time since I've done one of these things. So I'm like, oh man, I would love to do one. I would love to. So, big things coming to the Denims universe. I'm afraid you are accurate. You are accurate. You are, aren't you an accountant? Well, I would suggest that calling yourself an accountant means that you practice. That you are, why did I just, practice is such a crazy word because it sounds like you're like religiously an accountant. That like you have an accounting firm or you work in an accounting firm. Whereas I don't have an accounting firm and I don't work in an accounting firm. I do whatever this is on twitch.tv. I have a degree. But do you still plan on inviting streamers for interviews? Streamers? I don't remember if I said that I would bring streamers on. But I want to do more content with other people. I just like, it's outside of my comfort zone, so I don't do it. And it's easy to just fall into the same pattern of like, I like doing this content. But anyways, moving on. I would really like to watch. And also, let me just say, well, we'll get to it. I'm putting the cart before the horse right now. All right, I'm putting the cart before, let me go piece by piece. I will say how I found out about this was this clip. Let me pull it up. Here it is. He will just call you an OnlyFans girl over and over again to humiliate you. 1, I don't think he will because it's not a very effective strategy. 2, great. He can crash out like that one guy who goes on like the whatever podcast and gets really mad that women tell him that his wife has other children outside of their marriage. Like, it's not going to make him look good to crash out like that. That's just going to be cringe for him. Right? That's not the snizzler. Yeah. So sure, I would love to see that. That would also be really funny. But anyways, I saw this. Where is it? How do I? Sorry, I'm like a boomer. Okay, here we go. I saw this clip and I kind of like laughed my ass off and I was like, dude, we got to watch the whole thing.
Now we'll leave you with nothing. Good luck.
How do I get these subtitles off the screen? Okay, there we go. As an idea, why don't we give people the tools so they don't fuck up their life or they don't fuck up their credit score or whatever it is.
We do! They all raise their credit score and pay off tens of thousands of dollars a day in just a year, you dumb. More impact on this world in a positive real world per person experience than you will ever do.
Yeah, I'm lucky that I
You're lucky.
In the clip it's like he's so mad. Didn't even hear what I said. In the clip I'm talking about setting people up so they don't fuck up their lives, not setting up people after they've already fucked up their lives.
Because he got a big pair of tits and that's the only reason anyone watches, let's be honest. And we enjoy them.
I always love this. Oh my god, dude. It's just so this is probably my favorite form of cope peak. Peak cope is the yeah, well, your boobies. Yeah, well, your boobies. Because let me just tell you, maybe it's just that other people don't know. If you go to twitch.tv and you go to the just chatting category, you can find a lot of women with way bigger boobs than me, like way bigger, like way, way bigger. And unfortunately, their viewership is not higher than mine. And that's really sad. So I need everyone to go and support them. And I can only assume that their viewership is not higher because people just don't know. But there's a lot of women with way bigger boobs than me. So like really, really, I would just love to understand how these two things work in people's universe, in people's worldview. That like only viewers because boobs, but also there's all of these streamers that have way bigger boobs than me. And like I don't even know how much of this is like legal on Twitch, but they will like oil their boobs, their giant boobs, which like I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. But I'm just saying, if you are looking for that, like, this is not, this channel is like mid on that front. Okay? I feel like, this is just my opinion. Stop snitching. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, right? I'm sorry. You're so right. You're so right. I apologize. I'm sorry. You're wrong. I'm wrong. Oh man, what channels so I can avoid them? Oh, that's so terrible. They let that happen on Twitch. That's so horrible. What? No. No. Stop, Maple Take. Stop. Oh my god, this person is just reacting. Sorry, I'm like scrolling through the just chatting category. This person is just watching Better Call Saul. I mean, Better Call Saul is a really good show, but like that's really funny. Like, I'm just saying, dude, I'm just saying, there's a lot of other channels, okay? There's a lot of other channels. Maybe people just don't know. Maybe people just don't know. So I'm here to inform everyone. There's a severe, disappointing lack of oil boobing content on your streams. I know. But, what I will say, besides that, hold up, where is it? Can I just say, sorry, I saw this chat message and it made me laugh my ass off. I love when people cope like this also. Has Denims addressed Caleb cooking her yet? This is my favorite cope. This is my favorite copium because there's one very easy way to test this theory. To test if I've been cooked. Or at the very least, test if I haven't been cooked. Which is anytime LSF dislikes the other person more than me, it's not good. It was like the Tectone farming. Tectone, I think, is the only other person that I've talked about that has shown up on LSF where people were like, I don't like Denims because she's a wokey terrorist sympathizer, but I hate Tectone so much more that I'm fine with this. which is not a good place to be if you're the other person. And it's the same thing. I mean, the same thing happened. We're like, dude, do you know how bad it has to be that your clip is like you screaming to the point where LSF is calling the other person unlikable, not me? I mean, listen, man, I'll take it. Sure, why not? But anyways, the reaction was very funny. I had a lot of fun watching it. So I'm going to watch it with you guys. And before we get any further, just as like an update. So we did this full reaction. Titled it this, which was really funny. We found out during our Caleb Hammer live episode that Denims made horrible, bad faith, disgusting commentary on financial audit and me. So we decided to react. While we did, the ultimate update dropped. She is 100% going to lose her lawsuit to Ethan Klein. This is insane. Oh my God. I'm like half tempted to talk about it today, but I'm also half tempted to wait until the conversation with Caleb and then we'll talk about it then. But I think it'll be fun. I think either one will be fun. Anyways, at one point in the video, he says this.
I invite you to call into Caleb Hammer Live if you ever want to.
And I have many people, at least one other person, has challenged me to get on the show, Ethan Klein. And I called him out. I was like, okay, sure. I'm down to clown. Tell me when and where. Let's go. Sure. And he pussied out. And he was like, well, I don't think that, I don't think. So you know what? You know what, man? I will say credit where credit is due. If you invite someone to a show and you don't out, hey, dope. Excellent. Hold up. So things to look forward to because he did respond. He said, nice, reached out. Hope we can have a decent conversation around systemic issues versus personal choices. DM sent. Things to look forward to, everybody. Things to look forward to. Very exciting. First person to actually, take me up on the offer. First person. So I'm hype. I'm hype as shit. I can't believe Ethan challenged me to get on his show and he was just bluffing and then he just pussied out. I'm still like kind of in awe that happened. Like, well, wait, did she actually? And it's like, yes. I'm always down to clown. I'm always down. But anywho. Sorry, this emote is so good on this O face. All right. The replies for Caleb are wild. Dude, the replies are so funny. They're like, don't go on. She's going to try and kill you. It's like, what the what the are you smoking? Don't get sucked into their crap, dude. They are trying to kill you. They want you destroyed. I mean, I want him destroyed intellectually in a conversation. I want to do that. But I thought that was okay. I thought you were allowed to want to go in and destroy someone in a conversation. What? Huh? What? Anyways, so moving on. Things to look forward to. But I do want to watch. I think it's only fair game. You do a react on my content. I can do one on you. I think it's only fair. So shall we?
Trial to the dollar wise.
I love this one. Denims just got exposed. Oh, God. The internet's so stupid, man.
Budgeting app today.
Then I don't know what she said, but this could be
Live react. First time knowing about it.
She's reacting to your...
Oh,
hey,
gosh, I love her. Denims.
She's reacting to your... What he failed to say was existence and or proposition to Frogan.
Marry me.
Go to the... in the drop link. Hold on, I'm typing a message.
I think
right now.
she's probably calling out the tweet, which I acknowledge was.
Don't go to that time link I just sent you. So I would just
same shirt. No, this one's a different shirt. This is a different shirt. You see the lace on the bottom? This is a different shirt. See, different. I should have worn a different color for today's shirt. Whatever, same shirt, Andy. That's fine with me.
It doesn't matter if you acknowledge if you're wrong these days. They'll just go at it forever.
So rated stop at that timestamp?
Yes, that is. Don't go past that timestamp. Okay. I just sent you.
She looks like the girl you posted on Twitter. Dude, I think I have different eyes, guys.
But
what the f is happening?
434 is where it begins.
I have dealt with many a business bro.
It's just right.
Okay, and not all business bros, but somehow it is always a business bro that acts in this specific way. He runs this stupid show. I've always hated it. Everyone fell in love with this show, and I've always hated it. It's always struck me as like, oh, you've been buying Starbucks and avocado toast.
Welcome to a financial show about people's spending.
We've only complimented Denims.
Denims, we have nothing against you. Why are you being what the f is happening here?
She just doesn't like financial. She hasn't said yet that she hates Caleb Hammer. She said she doesn't like the show.
I don't like the show. Man, you're spending on Starbucks, i.e. the entire show. Okay, yes. Okay, good. You don't like it. It's crazy. It's wild.
No wonder you can't have a house, dummy.
Well, if they blow all their money. I've never said that about Starbucks spending, but you're right.
Or the avocado toast boomer.
Never said that once. But we see people spend 30-40% of their money on literal going out to
I almost feel a little bad. Like, I don't think I think this is like one of the only other people that I've offended this badly.
Yeah, that's going to prevent them from ever getting a down payment. I don't know how math works where you're from, but that is one of those things. Mm-hmm. And yes, I do still think she's pretty.
And let me just say, the one problem with financial shows is sort of the same problem with a lot of like health content, which is a lot of it just kind of boils down to, or the only content you really can make boils down to like, you have to be. No, it boils down to you are spending more than you are making. It's the same thing with a lot of health content, which is you are eating more than you are burning. Except in the context or except in the instance of things that are really, really, really out of your control. So like having thyroid issues or having any other significant health concerns that are preventing you from being able to eat certain things or eat below a certain calorie limit or burn, or like you're having metabolism issues, like things beyond that, beyond your control. And it's the same thing with, again, finance shows. It's like at the end of the day, it boils down to you are making less than you are spending. But again, also in the same context or in the same vein, there are things that are beyond people's controls, right? There are always things that are going to be in your control, but there are things beyond your control. For example, people who have terrible medical debt, right?
She's objectively stunning.
She's beautiful.
Because of, thank you so much.
She's beautiful.
A horrible take, but beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
I like that the horrible take is just, I don't like your show. Or no, I'll be fair. I hate your show. That's it. And that's the whole I hate. I hated this show since like the first.
At least she's saying the show and not me. It's okay if you don't like the show. Yeah. Just
I feel so bad, dude.
Don't watch the show. And she's sounding like she doesn't watch it. So I mean that's fine. That's better than the normal like actual hearted critique that we got earlier in this clip.
And again, I wish I could really go into depth today, but I don't want to because I don't want to spoil the fun for the show that I want to do whenever we get a chance to do it. Again, we're currently talking about figuring out when to schedule this with the holidays and everything. But yeah, we'll get to it. I don't want to, again, I just don't want to spoil too much. But I have watched the show. Episode, dude. It is literally, it is peak poverty porn, and it's peak like
well, again,
but it's not poverty porn when we have people. We don't just have people on that make minimum wage.
No, in fact, we don't even get homeless people on.
No.
We have a couple.
I would hope not. What type of financial advice would you give a homeless person? Don't be homeless? There isn't really any financial advice you can give to a homeless person. Just grind harder? Like, no, but really, genuinely, what financial advice can you give a homeless person that they haven't already tried or aren't currently trying? Beg harder for money. Go learn how to juggle so you can juggle on freeways and maybe people will give you money. Like, there's not really, once you're at the point where you are homeless, you need government assistance. You need either family that can help you, friends that can help you, or government assistance. You need to get lucky to get out of homelessness. Because all the people that are homeless are actively trying their hardest for their next meal, for their next bit of shelter. Like, it's just, I would hope that there are no homeless people on the show.
Times, but that's like something we avoid. And actually, we don't allow people to come on unless they have a job.
But they were homeless people with jobs.
And the only reason why we no longer have people on the show who are unemployed is because the audience didn't like that you couldn't make a budget.
Yes. And listen, and here's the thing. Our favorite episodes are the one who's literally earned like $200,000 a year or more.
Yes, those are so juicy.
Poverty porn. Again, this is she's kind of falling into the same camp. You remember when I said earlier in the full live stream that we did that there's a lot of criticism out there?
Also, yeah, someone else already said it, but like 40%. I think the last time I checked it, the number could have changed. Like 40% of homeless people have jobs. They just live out of their cars. So like the homelessness is invisible to the majority of people. It also includes people who have jobs who are like couch surfing, where you don't have a stable like home, you don't have an address, you just have like, I'm gonna chill at this person's place for a week, maybe this person's place for a week, stay at a shelter for a week, whatever it is, or even like a night potentially. So yeah.
Most of it's not valid, but you have to take it all in and determine what is valid and action on it. Papa Got made some valid criticism. She's not, because she doesn't know the show.
Again, I'll give like some sprinkles of the things that I want to talk about on the show once we, or finish organizing this. But the content that I saw was a while ago, and man, some of the people that were brought on, you're penny pinching for these people because they're not even making enough. Like, I don't think it makes sense to bring someone on who like relies on Uber Eats to pay their bills. Once you're bringing on people that rely on the gig economy, something has gone wrong. Like, that's someone who's already been failed by the system in so many different ways that like, oh, come on. Because I'll tell you, bring on as many people as you want that make $200K and still manage to blow all of it. That's fine with me. As long as it's not going to like medical expenses or like their ill family members. Like, it's literally someone who has way too much money. Like a streamer, for example, a content creator. Bring on AV, dude. Please, by all means, bring on AV. I would love to see that. That would be hilarious. Are you kidding me? Yes. That's not poverty porn. You're bringing on a rich person who makes more money than anyone knows what to do with and is still managing to have no, like no savings account. It's like, what the, like literally, actually, how are you spending all of this? How can you even spend like $200K a year? Even if you live in one of the more expensive cities, like a nice apartment doesn't have to cost more than like a couple $1,000 a month. So, So that I don't think is poverty porn. I don't think that that's poverty porn at all. But I think when you're bringing on people who rely on the gig economy, that becomes poverty porn. Because this person is so, like, if you are making under, I would say in America, regardless of where you're from, if you're making 30K or less, you are poor. You're very poor. And there's a lot of people in this country that make 30K or less. I don't want to see someone who makes 30K a year. I don't want to see those finances. That's just going to make me depressed. No, the poor person wanted to like go out for dinner on their birthday. Like, that's you're just humiliating the poor person for choosing to get treats sometimes. You know what I mean? Bring on as many rich people as you want. And as far as I'm concerned, you're wealthy if you make $200K a year or more. You're wealthy. You can live anywhere in the US comfortably. That's wealthy. Maybe other people would classify that number differently. You're not very wealthy, but you're upper class. At 200K. Now, I'm talking 200K per individual. I think that there's a universe where you can have like 2 incomes. You can have like a dual income household, and you also, you have like 3 kids, and you take care of both of your parents, and you work in a major city. Then you can struggle to save money if you have a lot of expenses like that, because you have a lot of family members that you take care of and you live in a big city. And God forbid the job that you work is like, one of you works as like a paramedic or a nurse in like New York. You're working like 12-hour shifts every day. It's a little hard to like pack a lunch so you don't go out and eat in the middle of your 12-hour shift. Like there are instances where like I think you could have a 200K household income. But if you have a lot of expenses because you take care of family members, because you live in a major city, and you work a really, really taxing job, there isn't a whole lot of time to do the financial planning that needs to get done that will help you long term. But I don't know if that makes sense at all. Versus like 200K for a streamer that lives in like some random ass city in Texas. You should be able to save money at that money. Well, anyways, I want to get too stun locked.
She's talking about something she doesn't know about. And also that is funny going from someone who makes literal porn. But, I get it. She's attractive. She can. I couldn't. I could post a picture of my ass. Don't know how well it would do, but.
Well,
people often don't know this, but male OnlyFans creators make a lot of money. They make a lot of money. They make an obscene amount of money. I'm sorry. Just like everything else, just like every other type of content, the most important factor is whether or not you're consistent. Sorry. Everyone in here probably has a streamer they enjoyed watching at some point, but the person just doesn't stream often enough, or their schedule is inconsistent, so you just stop watching them.
You said that's your retirement plan.
It sure is. Denims, please subscribe.
One photo.
But it's honestly, I don't know anything about Denims. I've never watched her content. I know she's in the Ethan Klein lawsuit, and I don't like stealing people's content without reacting. Other than that,
which is a crazy thing to say, by the way, to talk about me not knowing your content when I have watched your content. I just haven't watched your most recent content. But also, too, making commentary about content being stolen when you clearly haven't watched my content. I mean, you said so yourself.
I have no negative perception of her. She's ruining it right now because this is an invalid criticism. She hates the show. She doesn't know what the show is. Poverty porn's, that's a snark talking point of people who don't know anything about the show. We don't have people in poverty. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, more than 50% of the people that come on the show when she talks about, you can't afford a house because of Starbucks, is not more than 50% of the people that come on the show these days have a mortgage, have a house.
I would say the it's probably, if it's not, it's higher than 30%. Yes.
For my sanity, I have to ignore every time snark is mentioned. For my sanity.
Somewhere between 30 to 50%.
Like she does not even know what criticism she's making.
Because the folks that we are dealing with on this show don't live. Where does Denims live? Do we know? I'm going to say,
I'd assume California.
You give me major city vibes, and I mean that.
I am a city girl. TBQH, I am a city girl. That's not to say I haven't skinned an animal. When you grow up Muslim, if you have Muslim parents that immigrated from a Muslim country or a predominantly Muslim country, they will take you to the slaughterhouse on Eid. Okay? I have plucked the feathers off of a chicken, and I've had to do some skinning, and that is, man, you better have the stomach for it. I will say you have to have it, but I know my limits. I am a city girl. All right. I have a preference for my computer because my computer has all of my friends in it, all of my fun internet friends, and all of the video games that I like to play.
in a good way, but we're dealing with folks in middle America, you know, the flyover states. I'm sure somebody like her might say they can afford to buy homes where they live, and they're not.
Dude, it's so crazy being such like a, what's a good term for it? I don't know. Like being such a slob growing up, being such an like gross slob growing up, and then starting to spend some time looks maxing, and now I am just the city girl that looks down on the poor people in the Midwest. There's something amazing about that.
Living in California, where the median house, you know, is probably over $1 million or close to.
Can you turn me back into the background and hammer it out, please?
Sure.
Don't most guests at this point make over the median individual income and they're just pissing it away? It's probably pretty close, right?
Oh, flyover stage. I'd be pretty nervous if I saw her flying over some stage towards New York City. This is The Ramsey Show. Switchback. Again, that wasn't me saying it. That was Switchback! Switchback!
I know.
That wasn't me saying it. That was David Ramsey. David
Dude, no.
saying it.
2 out of 10. Boo. That one wasn't good. No, dude. No, man. Oh.
I would never say anything like that.
Yep.
Let's keep watching Denims, who's never seen the show, critiquing the show.
I've seen the show. Just be more savvy. Just be more financially savvy, bro.
Yeah,
And
bro.
never.
We make people budgets and help them get better jobs.
Yeah, bro,
and,
just do something that you don't know what to do, so you're coming to Caleb so you can figure out how to do it.
hey, Denims, you sit here and steal other people's content. We sit here and our average guest pays off almost $20,000 in 12 months.
Again, talking about me not watching the show when I have seen the show. I literally have seen the show. And then saying explicitly that you haven't seen my show and haven't watched my stream, and then doubling down by saying that I steal content is crazy work. Crazy.
Who come on the show. Yep, that's all our show does is what you just said.
Yep.
Hey, isn't it really that like our education system is so
Yes. That's why I sat down with the governor and we both of Michigan and we both advocated for financial education being taught in school. Again, more advocacy that actually resulted in real positive beneficial things in this world than you've ever done.
Which I will say, that seems like it was a recent development, and I would love to see more of that stuff. I would absolutely love to see more of that. I think, and this is like, it's weird because depending on the person you're talking to, they might not agree with this and they might agree with this. But I do think you as a content creator, after you reach a certain point, I mean, this is just like, I don't mean to be a Spider-Man loser, but like with great power comes great responsibility. The bigger your audience is, the more power you have over more people, the more responsible you are for not, you know, radicalizing a bunch of people into being crazy. Like, if some random like 5-viewer streamer makes a bunch of homophobic jokes, like who cares? If a tree falls in a forest, no one hears it. Did anyone? And no one was there. Did anyone hear it? Whatever the quote is. Versus like a large streamer making transphobic jokes. That's up, dude. You're normalizing that behavior among your audience, and your audience is comprised of people that we have to interact with on the internet. You're making the space worse instead of just like not saying anything about trans people because you don't know anything about trans people. Nick Merckx is who I'm talking about. Like that guy literally doesn't know the first thing about gender or sex. His understanding of gender and sex is penis, dude, vagina, girl. And it's like you literally don't know anything on this topic and you are so confidently speaking. Oh my God, please shut the up. Holy shit. So I do think that like the larger your audience is, the more people that you are responsible for informing, and the more responsible you are for not, you know, making them think stupid shit, right?
Performative activist.
That people's understanding of like very basic things is like,
yes.
Wait, is this one?
Transphobe struggling against the trans game. There's no such thing as trans people. That's something that you created. So have fun with your little dreamland, but that shit's not even real. Let me break it down for you, right? Penis, dude. Vagina, girl. Done.
I forgot the way he says it. Vagina. The way he says it is crazy. Vagina.
Vagina, girl. Done.
Done.
Come in here with that trans.
Oh Oh my God. Oh my God. I will never forget. I made fun of him so hard for that. I made fun of Nick Merck so hard for that. You just blocked me. Anyways, like you literally, your understanding of both gender and sex are so terrible. You shouldn't talk about what is and what is not real, whether or not trans people are like I don't even think you've ever even read any research papers at all about gender and sex. Because if you did for even a moment, you'd find that like the people who actually spend their life dedicated to understanding sex, to understanding what makes someone male, what makes someone female, they all agree sex is not binary, it's bimodal. That there's a lot of people who will, be born female, XY chromosomes, XX, XX chromosomes, and will identify as a woman, and that a lot of people will fall into male and identify as a man. But there's a lot of stuff in the middle that makes it that you can't call this binary. You can't just say man, penis, woman, girl, vagina, girl. So I don't know, man. I feel like you should trust experts on that shit. And if that's what the experts say, and all of the research we have shows that like there's a lot of research that shows that when you do, I think it's like, I forget if it's MRI scans or if it's CAT scans. I don't remember which one it is, but it's one of those two of trans people. You'll find that for a lot of certain types of questions, the same parts of the brain will light up as they do for the sex or gender that they associate with or identify as, compared to cis people. So like one example would be, let's say cis men. When you scan their brain, cis men who deal with excess breast tissue, you'll see that they experience significant discomfort when being asked about their chest. And when you put cis men who don't have excess breast tissue, it's gynecomastia, when you put those same people under a brain scan, and we're just talking about cis men right now, just cis men. When you put those same men under a brain scan, under an MRI or whatever, you'll find that area does not light up. They are not uncomfortable because they don't have excess breast tissue, something that we identify with being a woman. And guess what? When you put trans men top surgery and you put them through the same exact thing, their brains light up the same way that cis men's do when they do have excess breast tissue that makes them uncomfortable. And then when you put cis women in, they also aren't uncomfortable. So anyway, back to the video at hand that has absolutely nothing to do with transgender rights, and Caleb Hammer never said anything about trans rights. I know it's really hard to like follow along with points. The point that I was making, the greater point, is that when you have a larger audience, you have a greater responsibility to be responsible with your platform. One example of someone who is not responsible is Nick Merckx, who insists on telling everyone, and he has no understanding of gender and sex and has never done any research on gender and sex, telling people his understanding of gender and sex, making the platform worse, making people stupider on the platform. Same thing that would go here. Same thing would go for me. Same thing would go for Caleb Hammer. You have a responsibility, I think, to the people who watch your show, to the people who tune in to every single video, every single broadcast, to educate them to the best that you can, to your best ability.
You see your budget. Let's find out.
A lot of people don't know how to cook in this country. A lot of people don't know how to change a tire in this car sell world that we live in. A lot of people don't know the basics about finances. Like, we are lacking so much baseline knowledge that all of us should have through public education, but
we all agree with that. Very controversial.
We have no good public education. Home econ is gone.
But is she going to loop it back to, then that's why our show is bad? Like,
what do they call it? I almost said car slop class. I'm forgetting the technical term for it.
Shop?
Yeah,
Mechanic?
just shop. Yes, just shop. Not woodworking. What is it called?
Well, you don't.
Not wood shop. There's another one. There's another term that's like more encompassing that I'm. Oh, just like shop class. Shop class is what I was looking for.
Okay.
Like those are totally.
Oh, guys, membership badges are updated. Make sure you subscribe to Hammerly, the best membership on YouTube.
Basics in like finances. God forbid students get like basics in understanding, even just like critical thinking, just like the basics on like psychology. And guess what? If you solve these problems on a more systemic level, I like how I'm explaining exactly my point, which is you cannot cure systemic problems with individual choices and with individual responsibility. But he's like frustrated at me trying to explain this, that I'm saying that until you fix our education system, people will continue to fall into the same pitfalls over and over and over again. People become more financially literate when you give them the tools. Whereas this entire show is just like,
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
you're a
by the way,
fucking
we
idiot
give
for
people
not fucking
financial
knowing
tools
that.
and they become more
And, like,
financially
maybe they are
literate.
Yeah,
idiots.
Christian,
Okay,
what's
yeah,
up?
that's not the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making is not that you guys don't budget or that you guys don't help people, the individual people that come on the show, but rather that you cannot even attempt or try, or not attempt or try. Sorry. If you don't try to inform people on the greater systemic issues, it's very easy to just fall into the same exact to fall into the same exact cycle over and over again of, no, there's just not enough individual responsibility, therefore there are no systemic problems, therefore we just need more personal individual responsibility, which is already what this country has been running on. But,
Sorry.
you
What are we
know, they
doing?
got a
We're
fucking
reacting
shit
to a clip.
hand dealt to them. A lot of people don't get the luxury
Christian, where's the
of
mouse?
having learned this.
What the is she talking about? We give people the tools.
Right.
Systemic problems? Girl, literally, there is not a systemic problem why someone is spending 40% of their money going to McDonald's and Panda Express.
Yes, there is. The systemic problem is that people don't have a basic understanding of finances, and they don't have a basic understanding of how much of their paycheck should be going into a savings account. People don't graduate college and immediately set up a 401k. Why? Because there's a systemic problem. There are individuals that make stupid choices that you cannot save. There are people that they're just basically unsavable. There are lots of people, I'm sure you've met them. I know I've met them. And it's like, I mean, I've met them for a very long time. I will remember the first time I ran into one of these people. It was in my guild. And this guy, I was like, how do you always, man, you must make a crazy amount of money to be just whaling every single treasure trove. What the And he's like, no, I'm just in like 20K of credit card debt. I'm like, oh. So why are you swiping in the video game? Oh my God. Hello. So like, yeah, there are people that are not savable, or like there are people that there's no amount of systemic solutions that you can fix that, right? At some point there is personal individual responsibility. But the reality is a lot of people get into the positions that they get into because this task is so daunting and their understanding is so poor that they're like almost, you get to a point where it's just like too scary to start looking at. You know that one closet that people have, or like the chair of death that you have that's just, the stuff that is piled onto it is so great, you don't even want to look at it and you just start to ignore it. I can't live like that. I'm going to be honest. People who live like that, it stresses me out. I'm stressed for you. What do you mean you have a closet full of stuff and you're too scared to open it? And you're like, I'll just keep putting stuff in here. And you're like, see, I know I have an extra power cord in that closet somewhere, but I don't know where, and I don't want to find out, and I don't want to deal with that. So I'm just going to buy another power cord. And it's like, what do you mean stop? Get your inventory under control. What the hell? Bro. Hi, Wormy. Hi, Wormy. Wormy. And for a lot of people, they let the same thing happen to them with their finances. It stresses me out how many content creators I've made who have told me that they haven't paid taxes. And they're like, yeah, it's just been something I've been meaning to do and I still haven't done it. And I'm going to do it this year. And I'm like, you have to get this. This is not something you can just ignore, man. Bro, stop. Bro, stop. Stop. You're stressing me out. But that's my point is like, when a task feels too unmanageable, when you don't have any of the tools to do this task, and you get so terrified at doing the task that it scares the shit out of you that you just put it off forever and ever and ever, you can solve that problem by giving people the basics in finance, like in financial education. Then it's not so scary. Then it just becomes like one other task that people know how to do. Like learning how to cook as someone who's never cooked before. I didn't understand. I was like, just learn how to cook. I've been cooking since I'm 12. Just learn how to cook. It's not that hard. And after speaking to people who don't know how to cook, who are learning to cook as adults, they're like, I mean, I don't even know how to hold a knife. You know, I don't know how to cut anything. I don't know how to use a frying pan. I don't know how to do any of this shit. It's like, oh, maybe I would feel the same way if I was in your position. I don't know if anyone still remembers what it was like to play a shooter for the first time or to learn how to use a keyboard and mouse for a shooter for the first time. It's very difficult until you show someone new and they're like, they literally can't move their mouse and their character at the same time. And they're like, how do you do this? And it's like, oh, I don't remember what that was like. I forgot what that was like because it was so long ago. Yeah, this would feel really daunting if I was where you were and I had so little understanding of these basics. I would probably put this off forever because it would stress me out so bad. So that's the same exact thing, right? Like, there are people who their understanding of finances is so poor, their understanding of like taxes is so poor that it becomes too daunting of a task to start. That doesn't mean it has to be an excuse. It can just be a systemic problem that can be fixed with good basic education. But anywho, I just want you to know, user Jen Eric fella, you're getting triggered for literally no reason. Okay, all this is going to get talked about. My argument is that there's not enough being done on the systemic front and there's too much focus placed on individuals. That's who he has on his show. He doesn't view them as unsavable. He wants to help people you claim as unsavable. Wrong. That's not the point that I was making. When I said unsavable, I didn't mean that they could never put their lives back together. That's stupid. So long as you want to, you can get your life on closer to the right track. I'm saying you can't save them from their initial failures. You can't go back in time and stop it from happening. There are some people who, if you give them a good enough education on like basics of financial literacy, they won't make the same mistakes that they would have had they not had that education. They will file their taxes. And there are some people that it doesn't matter how much education you give them, they will still make that mistake. They will still get into credit card debt. Doesn't mean they can't choose at some point later in their life, dude, I gotta get out of this debt. I'm talking about how people get into these positions in the first place. How people get into these positions, into these financially terrible, financially dire positions in the first place. And I'm saying a lot of the people that are in financially dire positions, in a just world, they would never even have gotten into that position in the first place. It's just that our systems are so bad that people get into these positions. This is a pancake waffle moment. I expect better. The following since 36 seconds ago, maybe not. 164 messages. How many times are you on following and following? What the hell? So you want them to travel back in time and knock the credit cards out of their hand or not help them at all? This is a pancake waffle moment. I like pancakes. Oh, so you hate waffles? No, wrong. Completely incorrect. The reality is there's a massive difference between what are you stupid? Why are you buying all this in credit cards? And okay, you know what? Listen. For whatever reason, this bank gave you a credit card that they should not have given you. You're already in $10,000 of debt, and this bank thought we should give you another credit card. Whatever reason, we have these stupid systems where people that are already in debt can get even more in debt. That's fine. It is what it is. Let's see what we can do to fix this, okay? Because only you're going to really be able to get yourself out of this position. We're going to go from there. Well, let's go from there. Well, no, it sounds like you're upset he can't stop them from making the mistake in the first place. Wrong. You're not understanding the point that I'm making. Everyone else in here is understanding it. So I would recommend going back in the VOD maybe and listening again, because that's not what I'm saying at all. It's not even close to what I'm saying.
It really, I would say, and we've all been there. All three of us.
Yes.
And I don't know about Wes and Christian or Tyler. Hi, Tyler. We've all been in situations where we've blown money and then realized, oh, I can't this is not sustainable, right? Yeah. Where I want to go in life, bills are stacking up, all these things.
I still have months where I'm like, oh, I spent a lot of money last month. Like, it is an always evolving always evolving process. Some months are more expensive than other months. No. And you sit down and you look at it and you go, wow, I had a bad month last month. Let me correct it this month.
What's crazy is there are actual systemic problems, but in the worldview she's in, everything has to be a systemic problem.
Totally wrong. Which, if you would watch my broadcast, the number of times where I tell people all the time, if you have a skincare routine, your life will only get better. That is something only you can do for yourself. No one else can skincare routine you. No one else is going to show up at your house, wash your face for you, and put some retinol on your face. And guess what? Unfortunately, it is like one of the best things one of the best decisions you can make is having a skincare routine. Your life will only be better by having one, by being nice and moisturized. I spend so much stream time talking about personal things that you can do to make your life better, but I also recognize that a lot of people get into the situations that they're in because of a bad system. If the system is so here's the thing. If one person in our country gets into obscene credit card debt, that's probably their individual failure. That's probably their fault. If tens of millions of people are getting into credit card debt that they cannot repay, don't you think maybe it might be worthwhile to see if there might be a systemic problem at play? What is this, an ad? That's like me saying I like oranges and then you being like, what is this, an ad for oranges? Huh? Who's paying me? The orange lobby, the big skincare lobby. At some point there's a systemic problem. If something, especially if something wasn't happening and now it is happening on a really big scale, it's almost like credit card companies specifically target people who they know cannot repay the principal, or they cannot be responsible enough. Well, that's for loans. They can't be responsible enough with the credit limit that they're given. And they are hoping that that's the case so that they can make money off of you as much as they can with interest. That is literally the not economic model. That's the profit model for credit card companies. Like, it's insane to me that you can look at modern student loans and not think, maybe there's a bigger problem at play here. And instead, it's like, well, you should have been more responsible and known to not have taken out that giant loan. And it's like, I don't know, man. Maybe the people who are like trying to become doctors and nurses in this country and have no way to finance that degree except getting an obscene loan, maybe, just maybe, we have schools that don't force you to take out giant loans. Or, in a better example, and I've talked about this particular example before, New York State, I think it's New York State. I might be mistaken. It might be New York City. I think last time I looked into it, it was actually the entire state. But let's just say New York City has programs where if you go for I believe a 4-year, but it even might be more than that, the number of years that you take out loans from the state is the number of years that you are required to work in that state to have all of your loans forgiven. That's a pretty good system. Your state is paying into the education of its people, and it gets that immediate payout because now you have less hospitals that are understaffed, as an example. The New York Excelsior program. Yep. There are ways that we can fix some of these problems on a more systemic level. Does that mean you're going to remove every single person from society who thinks, I just need one more Gucci bag? Of course not. Obviously, there's always going to be some delusional people that are like, dude, you don't get it. I have to go spend on this MMO. You don't understand. I have to. I have to be the whale in my guild. Those people will always exist. They will always end up in the positions. There will always be some people that are financially irresponsible. It's like trying to curb addiction in this country, or trying to help people who are physiologically addicted to whatever substance, and being like, you can't literally cure addiction, right? It's like, yeah, shouldn't we try and make it better? Listen, a couple people getting addicted to substances, it's always going to happen. As sad as that is, it's always going to happen. But the number should not be this high. There shouldn't be this many people getting arrested for substance abuse. There should be no people getting arrested for substance abuse. And there shouldn't be this many people struggling to get off of substances, same thing with homelessness. There shouldn't be this many people that are homeless in our country, in the world's richest country. At some point, you look at the numbers and you're like, this is too many people. Other countries don't have these rates, and we're richer than they are. Something has gone wrong. This country with a way lower GDP has people that have healthcare, have housing, clean water, clean food, obviously, nutritious food. And they have a really low homeless rate. There's always going to be some, because it's just, you can just get really, really, really unlucky and make bad decisions. That's always possible. But at some point you have to look at and like zoom out and look at the bigger picture for a second and say, maybe the numbers shouldn't be this high. Because when we compare ourselves to other countries that we should be comparable to, they don't have the problems that we're having in this country.
And there's no personal responsibility. And when you call out personal responsibility, you become a fascist.
Wrong. Totally incorrect. It is not fascism to have a skincare routine. It is not fascism for me to suggest to people, yeah, you should go do a little cardio every day. It's really good for you. Oh, the only person that can get cardio done is you. And even if that just means going for a walk for like 5 minutes a day, guess what? That's 5 minutes you didn't do yesterday or the day before that. So hell yeah, we'll take that W. Like, I am such a big personal responsibility person, but I'm also capable of recognizing when something gets so bad, when a country's prospects are so bad because so many people are suffering, we might be leaving the territory of individual responsibility.
That is oftentimes what I don't want to necessarily 100% subscribe that to her, but a lot of the criticisms we get from
I appreciate. And this is part of the reason why I'm down to have this conversation with this guy, because that is more than I can say. That one comment that he made just now is more than I can say for most of the people who watch my content or react to my content. Most of the time, it's very Asmongold-esque, where it's like, yeah, well, you're a fascist and you are calling everybody else a fascist. And you know what? I am going to subscribe these opinions to you. The ability to even just recognize and be like, okay, maybe this isn't you, so I'm not going to subscribe to I'm down. I'm down to talk to someone who's capable of doing that, capable of saying just that bare minimum.
People in her like corner of the internet is just that. Oh, this mouse is dead, guys. We need to like. Oh,
is it?
I'm not getting control. There we go. Now we do.
And guess what? If you solve these problems on a more systemic level,
systemic is not going to. We have the highest disposable income in like the West.
Having a higher disposable income when the majority of it has to go to renting, and rent prices are as obscene as they are. You have to compare our country to other countries that have comparable GDPs, which is not that many, and then look at like home ownership rates. Look at homelessness rates. It's easy to be like, well, we make more money than other countries. Okay, yeah, and how much of people's disposable income, or not disposable income, how much of people's income goes to rent or to groceries that are obscenely overpriced? I mean, Kroger literally is on record, because of, God bless her heart, our Lord and Savior, Lena Khan, literally is on record saying that they were price gouging after COVID. Way after the supply chains were like fixed for the most part and normalized, they continue to charge obscene expensive prices because they can get away with it. And other industries, luxury industries, had a price decrease, but inelastic goods like food stayed up, because why would they start charging less when they're making more money? You can't just not go. You can't just not eat food. And if you're willing to pay this much for eggs, then I guess we'll just keep charging this much for eggs. The demand didn't go down, so I guess we can keep it up. It's the same idea here, right? The question is, how much of people's money how much do they have left after their basic necessities, and how much of that money will do anything for you? And also, having a disposable income doesn't necessarily mean that you can afford to do anything with it. When it makes the most sense in this country to save your money for expensive random medical bills that you might get because you have to ride an ambulance once.
In world outside of like micronations where it's just like city states, we have the best disposable income. We have more money than most people know what to do with on a median level, not even average, median. People blow their money on. We are consumerism culture. Right. There are systemic issues.
I agree with that. I do think this country is very consumerist.
It is not a systemic issue that someone blows 40% of their money on McDonald's. Come on. We got to do better than that.
Did he bring on specifically a guest that spent 40% of their income on McDonald's? Is there a guy that is John McDonald's who spent 40% of his money on McDonald's, is an outlier and should not be included in this study? Also, who the hell is buying McDonald's in like 2025? That their stuff is really falling off, dude. Out of sheer curiosity, I tried the chicken wrap, the snack wrap. And the recipe, it must have changed because it was ass. It was terrible. It was not good. I was like, I'm going to make this one exception and I will give the McDonald's industry $1 and like 75 cents or whatever the it was. I was like, fine. Girl, the boycott. I was like, fine, I will break the boycott just this once, just to try it. It's $1.75. Fine. And it was like terrible. It was not good. It wasn't even, I was like, what the hell? Who the hell is even buying this? They must have changed the recipe since like, what the, anyways.
It has to be a little bit of personal. You have to be able to mix a little bit of personal responsibility in there. It can't be all victim mentality.
But I've always pushed for personal responsibility. I think you can balance both. I think the majority of the problems in this country are because of systemic issues. But I think that the reality is we've already been doing the personal responsibility for years in this country, and it hasn't made things better. It's only made things worse. At some point, we should reevaluate strategy on a more macro level. On a more micro level, all you can do is your personal responsibility in your personal life. But the problem is this country has gotten so bad because we push personal responsibility over everything else. That's what we newsflash. That's what we've been doing the whole time. And wealth inequality has gotten worse. And poverty rates have gotten worse. And homelessness has gotten worse. People become more financially literate when you give them the tools. Whereas
Which
this
we do.
Show is just like, well, you're a idiot for.
No, you're a idiot because we literally give them those tools and you don't know that because you're criticizing
On a micro level, not on a macro level.
in a show that you don't watch.
Yes.
When is the interview so I can watch? I think that they do like a Christmas break. So probably closer to the end of the month after that, after Christmas, I think.
Moron. Gosh, I didn't have a problem with her.
I feel like this man can be flipped denims. I think so too. And that's why. Like I think that the only reason to like engage with someone, and I still stand on business, although Asmongold would never do it because he's too much of a coward. I know he went online to say like, actually, I would never talk to people because I'm an edgy little boy and I have sixth grader syndrome. What is it? Middle school syndrome? It's like, no, you don't want to talk to anyone because you know that they're going to dunk on you so hard because all your positions are bad. Like your position, not bad in the moral way, but bad in the your positions and your idea of good policy doesn't actually make this country better. It doesn't improve the conditions of anyone who lives in it. It only makes things worse. And if you had to debate someone, you would quickly fall apart. This clip. The reason to talk to Asmongold, which I still stand on business, although he would never take me up or anyone else because he's too much of a coward, is because I think that that's a great opportunity to like dunk, to go for a nice easy dunk. With Caleb, I think he just has like an incorrect opinion about what the left looks like. But the thing is, the most annoying people on the left, unfortunately, are the loudest people on the left. But part of just like having good opinions is just ignoring the most annoying leftist. Because there are leftists that will always think you are not leftist enough. It will always exist. There's nothing you can do about it.
Hot. We advocated for her.
We were actually like celebrating her last week.
Marry me. But stop. You got to be smarter when you criticize content.
Not knowing that. And like maybe they are idiots, okay? But
Yes.
you know they got a
Most are. I was with personal finances. No
hand dealt to them.
can't. No.
Oh my
No.
fuck.
Again, at least
All of the most annoying leftists are all in Hassan's chat. Dude, why do you think Hassan gets so stun locked so often? It's because there's always somebody in his chat telling him that like he's not leftist enough. There's always someone in there that's saying some crazy stupid shit. Guess what? Some of those people, I do think you should always listen to criticism and you should judge the criticism on not the face of the criticism, but like what the actual criticism is. But sometimes the criticism is just stupid and it's just like, well, I don't think you're leftist enough. So
minimum 30% of the people that come on the show have a mortgage, maybe upwards towards 50% of the people. They are spending their money. Shitty handout. We don't deal with people that come from poverty usually.
which if he wasn't so mad, he would have listened to the next. This is why when I react to content, I try to let people speak for more than like 30 seconds at a time so they can make the full point that they want to make, which apparently is to too many people not good to let people make their point. But the point that I'm making is just the fact that you have the knowledge here in my garage to not make stupid financial decisions is you're already given a good hand. Someone who's stupid enough to get into like more credit card debt when they're already drowning in credit card debt, guess what? They were failed. Even those people who have the money and don't have to live in debt, those people were still failed by their system because they weren't given proper financial courses to tell them, hey, don't take out another loan when you're failing to repay these. When you make enough money, you shouldn't be dealing with this.
We don't deal with people that are homeless or don't have a job.
I don't mean like the privilege of, being born rich versus the lack of privilege of being born poor. I'm talking about the privilege of having the knowledge to know how to be responsible with finances.
With median earners, if not high earners, who are destroying all their money, not dealt a bad hand. They chose to lay down their entire hand and blow all their money. You are criticizing a show that you haven't watched. You can take a few clips, which I'm sure would be your reaction to this, is take a few clips out of context.
In fact, my biggest problem is that I don't take a few clips. That's my biggest problem. Why people get mad is because I actually watch the whole video and then I say, nope, this whole video is wrong. Here's why it's wrong here. Here's why it's wrong here.
Other than that, with the 3 we upload every single week, Monday through Friday, you have no idea what the you're talking about.
A lot of people don't get the luxury of having learned this stuff before they up their life.
Exactly, that's what this show is. Are you
Oh my God.
actually stupid? What is happening?
Otherwise, they wouldn't have up their life.
Well, this show isn't about, hey, I wish you had personal education. Now we'll leave you with nothing. Good luck.
As an idea, why don't we give people the tools so don't... I mean, that doesn't mean that you can't spend any of your time talking about how people could have up their lives in ways that were fixable had we had better education. Like, I genuinely do think anyone who is in a predatory student loan who has already paid like hundreds of thousands of dollars of interest and they still have hundreds of thousands of dollars more to pay back. I don't think that that's a personal failing. I think 17-year-olds shouldn't be able to sign up for that much credit, for that much student loan debt. I don't think that that should be legal. I think that that's a systemic problem. I think it should be illegal for banks to charge an obscenely high rate that will never let them pay back their loan. I think that should be illegal. I think that we should have good 4-year universities in this country that are free. I think that would immediately, overnight, prevent like tens of millions of Americans from dealing with student loan debt. I think that that's a bigger problem than just like the individual. Now, after you've already up your shit, after your statements look like shit, I think the only person that can get yourself out of that situation is you. I think that the government can try, like with, like, for example, the Jubilee for student loans, but realistically, something like that in this country is not going to get passed. But you can have both. You can have personal responsibility while recognizing that a lot of the people that up their lives have it up in ways that are preventable.
We do!
Fuck up their life, or they don't fuck up their credit score, or whatever it is.
We do! They all raise their credit score and pay off tens of thousands of dollars a day in just a year, you dumb More impact.
I really want that. We do. I really want that as like a sub sound.
On this world in a positive, real world, per person experience than you will ever do.
Yeah, I'm lucky that I...
You're lucky because you got a big pair of and that's the only reason anyone watches, let's be honest.
I love this glaze. I love this insult because it is really just a glaze. My boobs are so magical that I can hypnotize thousands of people to tune in every day. Do you know, I might have the most powerful boobs on the planet. I might have the world's most powerful on the planet. On the planet. That's incredible. They come with hypno powers.
And we enjoy them.
Not to get higher education, that I took out subsidized loans from the government. And unfortunately, he's so mad that I think he ended up misunderstanding what I was saying here. I was retelling the story of how I took out subsidized loans and was able to pay them back. And I paid very little interest on it. Because again, they're government subsidized loans. But I was lucky enough to not be stupid enough to go take a bank loan. Like, I was lucky enough to have a lot of like, I was lucky enough to already have had the basic education I needed to not make stupid financial decisions. I was able to pay them off.
Subsidized loans, almost anyone can get that. Even with Trump's more restrictive program on the repayment assistance program, you could do as little as 1% of your income towards your minimum monthly payment. 1% of your monthly income towards your minimum monthly payment. You can't be a victim if that's an option. You can't. I don't want to hear.
But like, again, I think he, well, obviously he missed the point. He's under boob hypnosis. Didn't you hear him? You're right. Sorry. I'm sorry. You're right. I did commit boob hypnosis first. Boob hypnosis jutsu. But yeah, the point that I'm making is I was lucky enough to benefit from this thing, from government subsidized loans. And I went to a public university that was relatively cheap and I was able to pay it back. But that's because I was lucky enough to have made good decisions when I was younger, right? Not everyone else is so lucky. But I was also lucky enough to have like some of the basic education to not fuck my shit up in the first place. I'm not a victim for taking out a good like I think he thought I was trying to say that I'm a victim because I took out a good loan and I failed to pay it back or something. I think he just got a little lost in the sauce.
All right. Stop being stupid.
And now I get to be student loan free. Not everyone else is that lucky, okay? Not everyone else gets to be that lucky. That you have.
Bruh. Federal student loans are one of the most.
That's the point that this is the point that I'm making.
Best loans you can get.
That is the point that I'm making. That is literally that if you have good loans, people don't struggle to pay them back. I don't think that there has to be anything inherently wrong with the government subsidizing people's education via loans. I just don't think that the loans should be so obscene the way that like bank loans are that obscene. I don't think that banks should be able to charge people the rates that they're charging them. I think it should be illegal to do that. In the way that like, I think payday loans should be illegal.
Interest rate, not necessarily forgiveness in terms of going away, but deferrals, getting payment pause, payment programs that ramp over time, 1% of your income. This is not, out of all the arguments for all the debts that exist in the world, this is not the one.
Happen to get the right, I don't even know what, I think he was trying to, I think he thought that I meant that I didn't get to pay back my loans or something. He just got a little heated. Hand dealt to you that prioritized education, that prioritized understanding these basic.
Girl, you didn't make money through your education. You make money because you do OF online.
And this is another failure to understand basic systems. If you think that there is nothing you can glean from a public education and nothing you can glean from university that would help you succeed at content, you're mistaken. You are incorrect. You are unbelievably incorrect. In fact, engaging in the workplace in the most basic, rudimentary, shallow level will teach you that people who are prettier or people who spend more time taking care of themselves and engage in all of like the civilized manners that everyone needs to have do better. That's why women who wear makeup make more money on average than women who don't wear makeup in the workforce. That's why men who are taller tend to do better in the workforce than men who are shorter. I've never understood the height thing. Whatever. I have to accept that other people in society care about height. I don't get it, but for whatever reason, a lot of other people do. The point that I'm making is like the better you clean up, the more likely you are to land jobs that pay really well. This is why it doesn't matter how good you are at like some random stupid like coding or how good you are at Excel sheets or whatever the social skills are so important. Soft skills are so important. And if you think engaging in the workforce and you think engaging in the public education or higher education systems doesn't teach you that and that there's no carryover there, you are very mistaken. All of the women that I know who do sex work, every single one of them that is very, very good at it has a degree. And it's because there are transferable skills. I know, shocking, right? That there are things that you can learn from education that are helpful everywhere. Whoa, crazy to think about, right? Isn't that insane? Isn't that wild? Whoa. It's like it's so obvious, but I think he's just like a little triggered at this point. I think it's a little over and he's just a little triggered at this point.
Where is your advocacy here?
Concepts first before anything else. Yeah, it just like it's just business bro behavior.
Business bro. I've never even we don't do business content. Unless this is a new term.
No, I can't believe he's never heard the term business bro. I can't tell if he's trolling me. Maybe he's just really epically trolling me. I don't know.
I don't even know about.
Also, sorry, it's the equivalent of saying that like a bakery or someone who wants to own a bakery or run a bakery does not benefit from having a degree. Does not benefit from having a business degree. It's like, you literally just make delicious pastries. Everyone knows you only make delicious pastries and that's why you have a bakery. It's like, no, having a basic understanding of like how businesses operate and whether like how to scale businesses plays a big factor in your success in being able to do X, Y, or Z thing, right? Like this should be obvious. This should be, but whatever.
We do a show that is
Amy's Bakery. Mm-hmm. It didn't matter. It literally wouldn't matter how good the pastries were at Amy's Bakery because the people that ran it were terrible people.
Extra goony. that is consensual with the guests, where we make fun of them and talk about their drama and actually give them tools and give them a real budget and go through the real finances, because they're real people from the, by the way, audience who know exactly what show they're signing up for. You are making people out to be victims that are not. You're making out a show to be something.
No, and I'm sure that there are lots of people that he's brought on that are actually just financially completely illiterate that make bad decisions. But it doesn't mean the point that I'm making is that it's possible that a large number of those people wouldn't end up in that situation had they been given a good financial education before they became adults capable of taking out 17 credit cards.
You don't know what you're talking about. I had no ill will towards you until you started trashing us on something you don't know what you're talking about. We've never trashed you on something we don't know what we're talking about, so we wouldn't.
You literally said you steal content.
Talk about it, Denims. I have no beef with you. You'll probably use this to get more ad revenue in your next stream. Or
I don't make ad revenue. Okay, the stream is ad free.
Donations or whatever. Who knows? Clip farming.
Donations.
I don't know.
Donations, perhaps. Donations, perhaps.
Whatever you want to do. This is just a bad take, and you got to be better. I know you're in the far leftist corner. We're in the center. We're
far leftist is crazy.
Friends with everyone in the normal political spectrum.
I genuinely think this guy is one of the rare instances of people who have appealed to the right wing, but did not want to necessarily intentionally do it. And the only reason I say that is I don't think Asmongold could ever make a post like this one. Let me see if I can pull it up. It's which he talks about it in a little bit. He made a post about like right-wing extremism, and he like cherry-picked some comments from Blue Sky, and he looked at like Twitter, and he was like, this is so messed up. And people criticized him for it. And you know what? I will say, let me see if I can pull it up. Credit where credit is due. Him getting on and saying, you guys are right. I have spent too much time criticizing the left and not enough time criticizing right-wing extremism. And I'm going to try and point out more right-wing extremism. You know what, dude? Hell yes. That's something that someone like Asmongold would literally never do. Let me see if I can find it. I can't find this stupid tweet. It's got to be... I don't think it was this far back. Here it is. No, it's not this one. This was valid. This was dope. I have a few passions in life right now: business, personal finance, and challenging extremism. I'm sorry. It's so funny to be like, we don't even do business. And then be like, one of my personal passions is business. Anyways, rise in political extremism has been very worrying to me. I've been starting to call it out like crazy on here since my Thanksgiving break. I've received some valid criticism that I seem to have solely focused on far left extremism while leaving out far right extremism. And that's fair. I accept it. And I'm just going to say far left extremism. But let me just say, I think when you can say even the bare minimum, which is, no, you know what? I should criticize the right more. And I haven't been criticizing the right more. I think you are savable. I think you're savable. Because true grifters, real grifters that only appeal to the right would never say this. Would literally never say this ever in a million years. I'm the most extreme far leftist. I want healthcare for free. Oh, God. All right. Sorry, I'm looking at chat messages. Oh, dude. See, this is an example of something I would love to talk about. This. I've seen this clip.
Is it a woman thing?
No, we don't listen to people that look like you anymore. I don't know if you know this. You've lost all the power.
What does that even mean? Is it a woman thing?
No, SJW thing.
So you're sexist.
I said SJW. Is that women?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what SJW is, but
Social
you like to
justice
talk
warrior?
over women all the time.
I talk over everybody, including myself.
I hate everything about this clip. I hate every part of this clip. I hate everything that's in this clip. There's nothing that I like about this clip. There's nothing that brings me joy in this clip.
You can't talk over yourself.
Oh, yes, I do. And that's why I flubbed so many words.
No, that's just a stutter. That's just because you don't know how to
stutter.
speak.
I talk faster than I think. I don't know what I'm saying half the time.
Well, then maybe you should stop and think for a minute.
Go to your... So...
You can't say that.
I can. I just did. What do you... Back. And again, we don't listen to people like you anymore. We really don't. You guys have no power. You guys were like 0.5% of the population
I don't even know what
online.
SJW is.
You're a performative virtue signaling weirdo. We already know that.
Is that just because Is that just because of the piercing and the color?
The color and the weird earrings that you made in a shed.
No, actually, I purchased them from a museum.
Well, that's even worse.
I cannot just. I could write a dissertation on everything that I hate about everything that's in this clip. Do you guys remember when the guy from the Reddit anti-work, the anti-work subreddit went on like CNN, I think, or maybe he went on Fox News, and it was just like the worst thing on the planet. It was just so terrible. That's how I feel about this person who went on. It's like, you haven't come up with these arguments ahead of time, so defending them is impossible. You can't, if someone calls you an SJW or says like SJWs have no power, the response can't be, I don't even know what an SJW is. It's like, oh no, dude, stop. No, because there are so many free slam dunks on what Caleb says here. There are so many easy ones. And she doesn't go for any of them, and it's so frustrating. Because it's like, this really should be. His argument is literally just, oh, you're one of the wokies, and we don't conform to what the wokies want anymore. We're post woke. We're after woke. We're AW. It's like, no, that's what? That's such a stupid argument. Huh? What the does that have to do even with this discussion? Or like it's the hair and the piercing and the whatever. It's like, oh, so you just judge everyone based off of what they look like, what their hair is? That seems kind of stupid, no? Shouldn't you judge people based on like the things that they actually believe in? So anyways, yeah. You look woke, so I don't have to listen to you. It's like, it's such a stupid argument. It's such a dumb argument. Well, this is what I mean when I say it's frustrating, because it's like, dude, don't, come on, Caleb. Don't make this argument to your audience. You can do better than this. Come on, dude. This is so 2 out of 10. Both of these people could be criticizing each other better, and neither of them are doing it. And I think even just bringing up, like, we don't listen to people like you anymore is like, you've already lost. You've already lost the conversation. Your position should be greater than just like people like you. It should be, I'm sorry, there's no amount of like minority status you can have that can fix the fact that you have whatever amount of debt in Maple Story, right? Yeah, okay, sure. Sure, go for that direction. What is this? We don't listen to people like you anymore. What? It assumes that people have been listened to like that before. Meanwhile, what is the history of like SJWs on the internet? Anita Sarkeesian getting like rape threats and death threats every single day because she wanted to talk about video games in a way people didn't like. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. That's stupid. So anyways, moving on. I want to watch a little bit more.
Left and right.
Because I don't want to spoil too much, because I want to have a good conversation. And if I spoil too much, then the conversation will be bland.
Fascists, do whatever you need to do. But you got to be more objective. Come on, you got to be more objective if you're criticizing content.
I don't like these people. And they're like, I think it's a more visceral hate for me, because these people in person are like, they are some of the worst, scummiest people. Such a bitch. Oh my God. No, the people that I'm talking about, obviously I've never met these people in person, so there's no way I could be talking about these people in particular. I'm talking about business bros, which is what I was talking about earlier. Go rewind 5 seconds. I was talking about business bros. And business bros they are terrible people. And if you've met business bros, you know what I'm talking about.
What?
Who is they?
What was she saying?
The business bros.
Oh, business.
Apparently I am.
Okay.
I'm the business bro. First of all, we don't hate you. We didn't hate you. I'm not liking the segment you're doing, but I won't hate you after this.
God forbid you
Thanks,
have
man.
a successful business and try to grow a success.
I have to say, I'm sorry, describing it that way is really funny. It'd be like Nick Merckx being like, God forbid you make a couple of really good COD montages, man. It's like, no, I'm criticizing you for the things that I don't like, which is like the way that you farm certain types of people. Listen, if you only bring on rich people, make fun of rich people for wasting their money, amen, brother. I want as much, listen, if we're going full propaganda and we're going full mask off on propaganda, dude, make rich people look incompetent with their money. Yes. But I don't want to see like people who make $30K a year getting nickeled and dimed because, oh, they wanted to go to the movies on their birthday. Like, it's so infuriating. It's like, oh, the poor person wanted a little treat. I love making rich people look stupid. Hell yes. More rich people looking stupid. Bring on some crypto bros that threw all their money at garbage. Yes, I would love that.
successful business and employ people and pay taxes.
I have a very normal life outside of this that is not any different than if I had a YouTube channel.
And I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do.
Not. Don't know what you're criticizing right now. Now she's making a general criticism instead of an actual personal because she doesn't know what she's talking about.
He's like, I mean, yes, I'm talking to my audience about how I don't like business bros because I've ran into a lot of business bros and they're terrible people. And they put on a veneer of like, I just care about capital and finances. And that's what I care about. And maybe that's not you, in which case we will have a full conversation and discussion in the near future. I'm talking about the people who the only primary metric the only metric worth valuing is how much capital can you hoard? And you should be judged based on the capital that you have. That's what I mean when I talk about business bros, that they view everything as meritocracy and they view people that are incapable of gathering more capital as being failures in life. And life is more than just hoarding a pile of wealth. These are the type of people that like you'll hold the door open for them and they don't even address your presence. It's like you're not even there.
I literally say thank you every time someone opens.
You know what? I'm so happy to hear that, man. I'm happy to hear that you say thank you. Good for you.
Does. I've seen it.
Like what? What is she doing? She's talking about something she knows. She's
air. And if the roles were reversed, the door would slam in your face.
I hold the door open for people.
The easiest way to just disprove this is to say, well, I'm not a business bro, so none of this applies to me. You think I am, I'm not, so none of this applies to me. Not like, I do hold open the door.
He does.
He held the door open for me last week when I was walking into the office at the same time as him.
Not you hold the door open for other men? What are you, fucking, you a little fruity? Sus.
Dude, I goof and, goon on people consensually. I'm not, like, super mean. What timestamp are we at? I can't see.
38.
4:38.
So like 20. Like yeah.
Wait, 4:38 or 4:40?
Dude, I feel bad. I feel bad. I do feel bad. I'm excited for this conversation. I actually think it'll be really productive. I'm actually really excited for this conversation. I always talk about this stuff. I mean, we went on a really long tirade a while ago about like Cutie Cinderella and like rehabilitating the phase boys. And I do think that people should try their best to try and make the spaces a little bit more left. And I think, here's the thing, you don't have to be the wokiest McWoke to make the platform that you're on better. I don't think that has to be true. I think, like, for example, people like Curtis Connor or people like Drew Gooden or Danny Gonzalez or whatever, they're just like commentary YouTubers, right? Or like Jarvis or Chad. They're commentary YouTubers. They just do funny little videos. But it doesn't mean you can't just like push people slightly in a better direction, right? If anything, that's like more effective. And I want more of that out there. And I want to advocate for more of that. I think regardless of the type of content you make, you should always be trying to push people in like a more progressive direction when it comes to like, I don't know, basic empathy. Right? Do you see him trying to get Frogan on while making fun of her? Dude, listen, man, you want to farm someone for content? I really don't care. Do whatever you want. I farm people for content all the time. But don't pretend like you're a saint and you're doing it because you want to help her. That's the only problem that I have with that. It's like, no. You're content brained and you think it would make good content. And that's why you're doing it. You're not doing it because you want to help her out of the goodness of your heart. Oh, shut the f up. If you wanted to do it out of the goodness of your heart, you would do it privately. All right? The new Drew Gooden video was a good example. Also, FaZe Adapt chose a Palestinian charity for a subathon. This is what I mean. Like, people like Cutie Cinderella just like kind of slightly being in the phase space, pushing people in the right direction just a little bit. They want to hold like a little subathon or like they want to hold a little charity. They can go and ask their local woke friend, in this case maybe Cutie, and be like, so we're trying to do charity. What is a good charity? Can you help us? I don't even know what is a good charity. Is cancer? What do we do? I don't even know. Can you help me? Great. Yes. Diversity of tactics. Exactly. I'm not saying that that's exactly what happened. I don't know how they chose what they chose. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't follow the phase stuff that closely. But I'm saying that the idea that there isn't more, that we can't push people slightly in the right direction, just slightly, I think that's silly. I think we should try. Except for people that are like, I think, lost causes like Asmongold. Like, Asmongold knows what he's doing. He's profiting off of causing more discourse and pushing people in the right direction. He just wants to make content for right-wingers that makes right-wingers feel good about their positions. That's what he wants to do. He wants to do what Tim Pool does. I'm just speaking the truth. I'm just speaking from like my personal opinion. It just so happens that my personal opinion is that all of the right wingers keep saying the shit that they want to say, and left wingers are terrible and evil in every single way. It's like, what the? Asmongold chose to go to go past the point of no return. Precisely, exactly, 100%. But anywho, there's a lot more in this VOD that's pretty funny. But again, I don't want to spoil it. I really want this conversation to be a good one. All right. I really want it to be a good one. So all I will do is I will tell you guys this. I promise I will do everything I can to make it happen, because I think it'll be really fun. And I think it'll be a worthwhile adventure, because the thing is, if I can convince anyone at all that there are problems bigger than people's individual choices, and I can convince anyone and I can radicalize anyone towards, I don't know, Mamdani's socialist Sharia law, that's a W for me. He will back. I don't think he's going to back out. No, I don't think he will, actually. This might be a bold opinion. I don't think he will. And I say that because later I made fun of him really hardcore, and I did roast him about when he tried about this. And he did say, no, that lady got me good. She did. She got me. I got owned. And if you can admit when you're owned and you can take a joke, I think you'll show up for a conversation. So I'm ready for it. I'm excited for it. I need to see this VOD. Yeah, here you go. Would it just be Caleb, or do you have to deal with the other two co-hosts? I mean, I think, I don't know. I have to, details to iron out. Details to iron out. MashaAllah, I just cracked my sternum. It felt so good. Are you allowed to crack your sternum?